let me introduce you to Patakoski, a fantastic salmon fly fishing stretch of Lainio River. I'm not saying that it's easy, but waking up early in the morning during the summer is so worth it. When I arrived to the river this morning, the fog have yet not to lift from the river, and it's just a couple of degrees over zero. The season 2022 is the year where I truly became a salmon angler. Every catch is very special for me. Therefore, I want to keep them very unedited in its true form, like what actually happened. Please excuse me for being pretty quiet during the first casts of the day. 5 o'clock is way too early for an evening person.
That was a take. Oh wow, that was such an aggressive take. Right where it should be. Oh wow. I am hooked up. Oh, I got so scared. I've been fishing now for more than 40 minutes and not a single take, and all of a sudden my loose line that I had between my fingers, it just slipped out. Okay, just a few days ago I helped to land a salmon in this scenario right here, and that one buried away quite far downstream. Let's see if this one will stay up here or if it would run down. Gives good head shakes. I think it's a pretty good big fish. Not giant, but I think a good one. Oh. Standing here in the fog at Patakoski early in the morning. It's 5:15. I'm hooked up with a salmon. Ooh. It's a rather, I think could be a fish about 80 centimeters or so. Give a full jump there. I don't have a net with me, so I have to be gentle with the fish. Taking off a glove here. Oh, this is so nice. It's just running right now. The spool is just going. See its tail fin going through the surface. I'm sorry, the only sounds I can get out of myself is just pure pleasure right now, and I can't enjoy this more. Just standing here with a big smile, doing the best I can to try to bring it in here, but no matter what happens from here, I will be super happy for the rest of the day. See if we manage to get it in, but I can't imagine being in a better place right now. Look at that. It's quite close into the bank, but still far away, so I followed it a little bit now. That just meant that I continued to run out. Okay, it's quite close to the bank now, but probably 25 meters out still. Okay, here we come. Here we go. Here we go. It's getting in shallow. It's getting in shallow. Probably will go again. Lays on its side. Oh, it was bigger than I first thought. Oh yeah, that's bigger than I first thought. Has its head out. Ah. It is more than 80 for sure. I dropped the line in the last second. No. Be patient. Be patient. Be patient. Yes! Woohoo! I have it! There it is. Oh wow. It's about close to 90 centimeter. Female in dark colors. Wow. I'll try to do a one-hand movement to take off the other glove as well. There we have it. Willy gun in the mouth here. So beautiful. Oh really? The hook came out right here. Okay. Here we have it. Beautiful autumn salmon. Gonna try to measure it here against the rod. It is right to there, which is 90 centimeter. 90 centimeter female. Was very hard to film from the shoreline. It's both magical and a little bit sad. I can't take better pictures of it, but I don't want to hassle around too much with it. Yes! It is currently August 29th and I'm so happy that I managed to land this salmon before the season ended. That's just where it should be, where it shallows up to these waves down here. And you know, when you fish for salmon, you have some loose line at the rod and it just ripped out of my fingers and started running right away. Oh, it was an insane take. Has such tension in the line right away. And this quite big willy gun fly, the copper tube that it took on. I thought we'll go to Lapland guest house this evening and tie this fly, so let's head over to the vise. I'm trying to avoid the topic I have to talk about before we get to the fly tying. The fly that you see in the video that I caught the salmon on, it's a store-bought fly. So I haven't tied this exact fly, I have to be honest about that. But we're gonna do our very best to make a replica of this. As soon as I caught the fish, I wrapped up the leader and just saved it as it was. So we're gonna do the nicest replica of this willy gun as we can. I think it's a pattern you should have with you, and this size is pretty nice. Especially for lower light, like in the morning, like we have at this time. So let's get to it.
I've tied this fly on the Veniard Copper tube, the 1-inch length. And I've actually replaced the inner tubing that it comes with. So here I have the possibility to tie beyond the actual copper tube. I do that because I want finer diameter, but you need to be really careful when you're finishing the fly so you don't bear away too far on the plastic tubing, because you're gonna make the fly too back heavy. So this you need to keep in mind when you tie this fly. Mess it up in the balance. I made the dubby by simply using ice dub in the color golden brown. The feather that I'm using here comes from Whiting Rooster SH neck. I don't have these feathers in a wide variety of colors, but if you do, you can use them throughout the whole fly. But I have to be a little bit creative in what feathers I use, so as we progress with the fly, I will, just to be able to match the colors, do a little bit of everything, you could say. Arctic fox in sunrise yellow. I tie this in with the butt ends sticking forward, and when I tie this down, this is the base layer of the wing, so I want to make this really wide, so I make sure to push with my nails to really make some width to the fly. This is the advantage you have when you tie on a tube, and you should really make the most out of it, so you get a wide profile. Throughout the fly I would use just one type of flash, and this is the lateral scale in size small, pearl version. From the package these are really long, so the best way to use them is by doing them double folded like this, then they're really locked in securely as well. Cut off the butt ends of the hair wing with your finest scissor, so you can cut them really close up. Next up, the most orange I had was spey, and that's really cool. I think it turned out pretty well. I am very happy with it. The problem with the spey cape, as it comes from here, is that most of the feathers are super long. But here I found use for the ones that are really like almost up towards the head of the, if you look at the profile of the cape when it sits on the animal. There are some really short ones there you don't even think about when you tie traditional spey flies. If you have any questions about what material I use in the fly, you find the full material list in the video description. Next up is a red hair wing, Arctic fox once again. When you tie it in, you don't widen it as much as you did with yellow, then you will not bleed over it as much, so you have the segmentations of the different colors, so from the side you will be able to see all colors. If you want them more blended, then you spread this hair wing over the yellow as well, then you will have the yellow more discreet and more inside the fly, but I like it to be quite separated. The original fly had more of a blend, but it's also due to that it's more heavily fished. It is a bit of chewed now, so that's the big difference, I think. But you can choose to have it more blended by pushing with your nail as well on this stack of hair. Orange grizzly colored feather. I don't have a ton of feathers. This one I found from a Whiting Tires variety pack. Great way to start out with having a batch of feathers, or most of them are perfect for tube flies. Mixing feathers can make for some really nice movement in the water as well, and to have them all blending together in another way than you can accomplish with just using one feather. But traditionally you don't see as much feather blending as I do in this fly. Running with the scissor over the hackle stem makes the wrapping of the hackle a whole lot smoother. Doing replicas of fish catching flies is something that I do very frequent. If I have a fly that is catching very good, I just take it to the side and save it to the vise. Have a closer look at what actually is so special about this exact fly. And being able to measure the wing length and the body color and everything like this makes it so much more similar than if you just type from memory. Black woolly bugger marabou. Some additional flash here, the same lateral scale. Before finishing off the wing with the Marble Fox Supreme in black. This is supposed to be the longest color in the wing. So there you have it. Unfortunately, the battery died as I was just before I was gonna put on the jungle cock feathers. It was on the original pattern. These are substitutes, and it's not something I frequently use, and I don't think it is something you need. But since I made a closest possible replica for this fly, I chose to have it. But overall, I'm quite happy about how the fly turned out. It is as close to as I can here in the middle of the season make it look. So yeah, hope you liked it. Very happy to get a late season salmon, and looking forward to next season beginning in June here in Camp Onca. Very excited already.